Hello, brothers and sisters of light and dark. Welcome to my page. My page is about common sense. I try to keep it down under the nitty gritty, under 10 minutes. And if it goes over 10 minutes, it's something very, very, very important. And not important to liberals, libertards, people who believe in God, people like to smoke, people like to drink, people like ayahuasca, people like DMT. Listeners' discretion is advised. That's about 80% of you should not watch my videos because they're eccentric and different and esoteric. I talk about stuff that a lot of people don't talk about. But I want to make sure I make myself very clear. I have a background in a lot of different things. Please read about who I am before you run your mouth, okay? I tell people all the time up front, I'm schizoaffective. But that doesn't mean I'm mentally ill, okay? Remember that. When someone says something, everybody has a problem. Okay? Remember that. When someone says something, everyone has a problem. So let's say, for instance, I see a mentally retarded person over there, and I'm making fun of a mentally problem. I'm just making an example here. You already have a mentally ill problem yourself by making fun at a person who is mentally ill. So that means you are mentally ill for making fun at someone who is mentally ill. See? See how it works? Everyone has some sort of problem. The problem is when you don't try to understand the problem before you become unempathetic to that person's nature. See, you already became a narcissist because you just, a whole list of things because you just made fun of, or you became a bully, okay, to a person you don't understand. But anyway, I digress here. This video is going to be a response video to this video, as you can see here. You can check her out. I'm also going to put the link down below, okay? I don't want to do any copyright, but I'm going to go through this because I love psychology. Ever since I was young, I always wondered how people think. And I don't try to make judgments on people, but I usually try to ask questions and understand where their perspective comes from. I like to understand. I do like to make fun of people because everybody has some sort of mental psychosis with themselves, okay? But no one's perfect. But let's get on with the videotape now here. This one, it says 8 signs for fake love. This video is not that long, so I'm going to play it through because I love psychology. Okay? It's just who I am. I went to school in college for psychology and computer engineer and architectural drafting, which I have my degree for. Okay, for architectural drafting and design. Okay, but of course, there's a lot of things you don't know about me. Let's get on with the videotape. Let's play.
Hey there, Psych-to-goers, and welcome back to another video. Have you ever fallen in love? Falling in love can be the most euphoric feeling in the world. You feel like you could move heaven and earth and split the sea down the middle just to be with them. But what if this person you feel so strongly for doesn't actually feel the same way? Want to find out who really loves you and who's just pretending? Here are 8 definitive signs someone's love is fake. 1. They change you, not for the better.
Now, remember, she said not for the better, which is a good point that she made, okay? Which is a good point that she made, not for the better. But let's continue on to hear what else she has to say, okay?
Ever since you started dating your partner is, you've changed. The only comment you hear from your close ones? Do they say you seem less lively and upbeat now? Or that you've lost your usual confidence, wit, or charm? Your partner makes you feel like you have to change or hide certain aspects of yourself just to please them. You never feel like...
Now, the thing is that if a person's up front from the beginning, then it has nothing to do with love at all, okay? If the person is accepting of that person to change, then the person who's making the demands is in the positive. But if the person who is most likely willing to sacrifice themselves, then they're giving up more of their time, or they may just be incompatible, okay? Because what happens is that this person is just being themselves. Some people don't have emotions, okay, like what everybody else does. Like me, I don't have that much emotion. I usually tell people in advance, I am not that emotional, okay? The only thing I care more about is you trying to make sure I'm happy. And it doesn't make me narcissist. It's because if you make me happy, you will be twice as happy. And a guaranteed promise on that. If you're making me happy for the simple things I ask for, everything will go fine and according to plan. But let's continue on what she has to say here.
You can really be yourself around them. And that's a definite red flag. Remember, true love doesn't take away from your shine or your spirit.
But it depends
2,
on what the spirit... Okay.
They control you. Does your partner tell you who you can and can't go out with? Do they dictate what you can and can't wear or what time you need to be home? Are they the ones who always get to choose where you go or where you...
Now, there is a point here what I'm going to try to make here. When you have children, okay, you love them through your own emotional needs and also their emotional needs. You have to discipline them. Some people out there are not very disciplined, and some people are. So if a person is demanding that you take away this and this and that, that could be for the better good for your safety, because you have to understand both each other's psychology before you get involved with one another. You have to do this early on. You have to do this early on. Most people don't do this. And this can cause a problem in the relationship because there's a rift or an empty space or a form of ignorance that you must learn. So the other one person is being more honest and upfront, and one person is being very gullible. And to be gullible is not a good thing. You have to make sure that you are strong enough to deal with it. Now, everybody gets tired. This is why I teach a lot of guys that people get tired of discipline. They don't want to be contained. They don't want to self-educate. They don't want to be. See, there's many different ways of going about it. But let's continue with the video, okay?
Eat or what you do together.
All right.
In a healthy relationship, you and your partner don't control one another. True love lets you be your own person.
And this is inaccurate. The true love is actually being able to be disciplined and educated. Now, this is from my perspective now here. I believe that if you want to live your most happiest life, it's good to be disciplined. Because what's going to happen is that two people are frolicking around, then there's more likely to be an 80% chance. This is why we have 70% of women filing for divorces, because they have trust for each other. Now, what is trust without earning trust? I don't understand how you just give away trust. Hell no. Tell to the no you ain't going to be. I'm not trusting shit to nobody. I don't even trust my own damn daughters. And I'm going to tell you right now, when you're paranoid to a degree and you tell them the reason why you don't trust nothing and trust is earned, everything will open up. Trust me, everything will open up when trust is earned, not just given away. This is a problem in the fallacy with most relationships. You have to earn one another's trust. You can't just give it away. You can't do that. Okay? There's a form of responsibility that's thrown out the window. Okay? Because of your safety, because you don't know that person. You got to dig in the person's past to understand what trust is, right? So you can understand their psychological behavior in their pattern, correct? But most people don't do this. So let's continue with the video.
Fake love doesn't.
Okay.
3. They don't trust you.
Trust, again, trust is earned. It's not just given away, okay? All right, let's continue.
Partner distrustful, wary, and overly suspicious? Do they fail to respect your privacy and read all your text messages just to get some peace of mind?
Yes.
Another sign of fake love is constant, unreasonable jealousy. Your partner doesn't have faith in you and they don't believe you'll stay loyal to them.
And mostly, it's not really about jealousy. It's basically about trust. Because I don't care who. See, when my ex-wife was around people, I didn't care who she hung around. But if she's getting more happier with them, I'm going to naturally feel a little jealous. Anybody would. Okay? I'm like, yo, are you smiling? I've never seen you that happy before, smiling like that. You have to take a careful observation of people before you get deeply involved, because if they're lying, you'll find that out later on. And when you do find out, it'll be mostly on your fault. It will really rely upon you to determine that. And this is why you have to make sure that a person is not a liar or deceiving you. I want to make sure that if I'm dealing with anybody, they're the happiest. I see my daughters as the happiest. They don't even want to hang around their own mother because they know how joyful I am. Especially I'm great with kids. If I'm great with kids, then I should be great with adults, correct? But a lot of people aren't like that, okay? So this is why you have to take careful consideration on those who choose to be your mates, female and male, okay? Very important to be upfront at all times, which most people are not. Let's continue.
They don't feel comfortable letting you hang out with your friends when they're not around.
Nobody should be having
They don't want you to spend too much time away from them, and they need to know where you are and what you're doing at all.
Now, the thing is that it depends on the person. Some people are antisocial. So if you are an extrovert with an introvert, it will not work. So this is, again, you have to know each other before you are deeply involved. I tell everyone, I am an introvert. We will not be hanging with anyone. And it's not about trust. It's not about trust, okay? It's really about earning the trust, okay? Because eventually after you get together for a long period of time, you won't be hanging with strange people that I don't know, okay? Because you have to go to your job, you have to work, so those would be strange people. So I have to trust you, okay? There, okay? But when you come home, everything is different and nonchalant. Everything is cool. But the whole point of what this video is trying to make is that you're hanging with strangers in a party, group, or club, and you're doing what you want to do because you didn't really talk about each other's personality or psychosis or psychology. Let's continue.
All times. Or
Not all
they don't
times.
prioritize you. Do you and your significant other barely see each other anymore? Do they take forever to reply to your texts or frequently cancel on you at the last minute because something came up? No matter how understanding you might try to be with them, you need to realize that all these behaviors show that your partner doesn't see you as a priority in their life. Because no matter how busy they say they are, if they really love you and want to be with you, they'll do their best to make time for you, instead of just giving you empty excuses. And
Now, the empty excuses is because the two people didn't communicate early on. A lot of times, most people, when they get in relationships, they don't try to understand each other's psychology. And every little nook, I said every little nook and cranny, that pisses them off. Because there are people I've met in my life, and they are very extremely sensitive. And I usually tell people up front, I'm not a sensitive person. I'm not a religious person. I'm not these. I make a piece of paper. I write everything down. These are the things that I am not. And then you got to take the pros with the cons and see how you compare apples with oranges. One person is always more smarter than the other, and one person is less smarter than the other, okay? So you got to take these things into account. As I said, most people don't talk about these things early on. This is why relationships fail 70 to 80% of the time. And it's usually the women who will fail because women are not as disciplined as the guys. Guys are more intellectually, emotionally intelligent than women naturally because they're always doing something different. Even women will agree with me. Men are always doing something competitive or intellectually stimulating, while women don't do these things. Men have better conversations with women. Overall, in general, okay? But let's continue on now here. I don't hate on women, okay? I'm just telling the truth. This is a fact, okay? Let's continue on, okay?
half-hearted promises. 5. They're emotionally distant. Is your partner cold, distant, or detached? Does it seem like they aren't even trying to build emotional intimacy? If you and your partner can't connect with one another on an emotional level, then it's a sign that they don't really love you.
No, that's not true at all. It's just that their way, how they was raised up. So that's because they don't show you. That's because you didn't talk early on in the relationship. I tell people all the time, I am not that emotional, okay? I am more logical, and you got to be careful. Now, let's say, for instance, you met a sapiosexual like myself, and you are intellectually stimulating. That turns each other on. You want to do things sexually more with one another, okay? Or I usually settle for innocence. I like naivety, okay? When the female's naive, okay, that turns me on as well. Innocence turns me on. Virginity turns me on. Intellectual prowess turns me on. Certain things turn certain people on. That does not mean that they don't love you if they don't show it. You're just going to have to figure that out early on. Let's continue.
Your partner doesn't open up to you or share their feelings with you. They don't comfort you when you're down or share your happiness with your success. Well, then there's nothing deep or meaningful about your relationship.
Because you didn't talk
It's
about
like they're a stone wall that you're never going to be able to climb. Not unless they let down their guard with you. 6. They seem uninterested. Aside from being emotionally distant,
men are usually interested, okay? It's just the women that seems to be, and she's talking about the women on the women's side. In these videos, I think something happened to her, okay? So it's basically she'll focus it on the man. She's going to be, you can hear it in her voice, she's Caucasian, okay? Whoever's talking. And she's probably got a degree in MD or whatever. I don't care what the hell it is. When you hear women talking, and it sounds like she's saying his, and he, you can tell her history about why she made this video. Good, I'm just relating to her. This is off the topic, but let's continue on out here. She may have gotten hurt, and she usually blames the man, some kind of misinformation somewhere, miscommunication. Let's continue, but that pain comes out into the video. I can hear it, okay? Let's go.
Your partner just doesn't seem interested in you or your life. They don't ask you about your interests, passions, or goals. They're not curious about your thoughts and feelings, and they don't make any effort to get to know you better.
Okay.
They seem bored whenever you talk about your friends or family, and they never make plans together with you. Fake love is apathetic and
Yes, definitely indeed. A lot of women fall for a lot of beta alpha male constructures. They're not really interested in you. And I teach women how to not be interested in them before it gets too late. Because a lot of times when women fall for these type of beta alpha fucks, which is only 25% of the male population out there, which they are gravitating to, I say always try to settle for yourself. You know, a lot of women wear makeup and they wear clown makeup and shit like that. And I tell them, take that shit off and be your natural self, okay? Lose weight if you got some weight problems or some situation. Focus on the guy. If he seems very attentive to your needs and what he wants, okay, and what his desires are, and he don't even ask you about how you feel, okay, something like that, you know he's most likely just interested in you sexually. And a lot of women can't decipher or understand this. They can't differentiate because they have been trained by their beta males or their beta alpha fathers. I don't know. It's sad, okay, because a lot of people are uneducated when it comes down to starting relationships, okay. But let's continue on. It's almost over. Let's continue on out here.
Involved. While a partner who truly loves you will be curious about you, passionate about you, and care enough to get to know you. 7. They don't meet you halfway. In your relationship, do you always adjust your schedule around your partners? And do what they like more often than what you like? Are you constantly doing favors for them or sacrificing your time, energy?
Here's when you come into play a narcissist. Like I said before, a lot of women deal with narcissists because they feel it's a challenge or they're just attractive. Most of the time, it's usually just they're just attractive. And 9 times in a row, when I tell these females this, if he's showing all his attention to him, he ain't even showing shit to you. Maybe it's that he's using psychology. He's using that shit against you. Because maybe something happened to him. I don't know. You got to know who he is and why he acts like that. Why don't you ask him the question why he shows so much attention to himself? He may be a narcissist. You don't know that. But 9 times out of 10, if he knows your true intentions for him, he might just be playing the hell out of you because he already knows you're only with him just to fuck, okay? You know, he knows this. And a lot of times, what he likes to do, you have to relate to what guys like to do because most of the time, what do you like to do as a woman? Have you ever asked yourself, what do you like to do as a woman that will be interesting to a man? Because you know how men are always busy. They're always doing something interactive. They're always doing something intellectually stimulating because that's a fact, okay? What are you doing, okay? All right? So you got to ask yourself a question. What are you doing to make him happy, okay? Are you doing the things he likes to do? Because men love that when you do the things that they like to do. Men are very low maintenance, but they're also more emotionally intelligent than women overall, okay? I'm not saying all now, in all cases now, but most of the time when women get in relationships, when I talk to them, I said, what does he like to do compared to what you do? The women don't never tell me anything they like to do that a man would like to do. Okay, I'm like, duh, okay. Females got to develop some sort of emotional intelligence there too. It's a two-way street now here. Don't just fuck with a fuck boy and understand that you only attracted to him. That's all you are. But let's continue with the video because it's almost over. Let's go.
Or other important things in your life just to make them happy.
Okay.
If your significant other truly loves you, they'll be willing to make compromises instead of let you do all the emotional labor in the relationship. And
as I said before, most of the time, men are doing all of the emotional labor, and women are not doing emotional labor. Most of the time, if a woman is doing emotional labor, it's a fuckboy they're fucking with. It's a fuckboy you're fucking with. So if you women are hearing me, trust me here. A fuckboy is someone you're just attracted to first, highly. And then on top of that, you take off your makeup, you don't even, you see, there's so many problems with women when they approach men, okay? They have to come to an alpha like me to understand this. You must take off your makeup to be and have the natural attribute to match up with that man. So if you feel that you are, after you take off your makeup, okay, wink, wink, here we go, okay? You take off your makeup, you look natural, you're beautiful, you smelling shit, like, you smelling good and shit like that. You know your number, okay? And then his number is way above yours, and you're being honest with yourself. Then you come to me if you want to know some more information. I just don't do shit for free like what fucking a lot of people do and shit. I already told you already. Check my credentials down below and join my Patreon. I do a lot of other services too. I give a lot of information on the internet, but not everything. Let's continue on with the video.
shoulder all the responsibilities.
Okay.
This shows they're selfish and only care about themselves.
Selfish. No, it's not. That's not true
And
at all.
8, they easily...
And like I said before, this female who's making this video, she basically, I probably have been hurt. She's been hurt. Okay, or she's listening to a lot of women who are dealing with fuckboys, okay, which is the guys that they should not be along with because they haven't had approval from their alpha fathers or compatriots, okay, or father figures. Someone has to approve of the boyfriends that you're dealing with. When you're 18 and out of the house, you fucked up. You fucked up already. Women leave the house early because this only, most of the time, because they're with their single mothers, okay? Most people are raised by single mothers, by fact. But let's continue on in here. We're almost done. They easily give up on you. Oh, okay, here's another one.
They give up on you. Finally, the most glaring sign of fake love you need to look out for is how quickly your partner is ready to call it quits with you.
And that's a good
Conflict.
thing. That is a good thing. Because if that man, because it's most likely a man, or it could be a woman too. Most of the time it's a woman doing that to beta males. Because you can see how it flip-flops. Because if you have 80% of women gravitating towards the 25% of the men, okay, and then some of those 80% of women who chooses the wrong men chooses the beta male because they're not attracted to them, these women give up because they're not naturally attracted to these beta males. Most women are not attracted to beta males. Beta males are average-looking males with natural jobs. They are usually neglected in society. They're the ones who commit the most suicide, mostly Caucasian. And these type of guys are usually they're underrated. They're not getting any attention in the society, okay? And this is why we have the Red Pill Foundation. This is why we have the MGTOW Foundation. And I try to teach guys how to snap out of that so they won't be a beta anymore. Because I was a beta, okay, to be honest. And I was a beta alpha, to be honest. And I became a full-fledged alpha because of the fact that I learned from pimps and Italians from my past, like unlike most guys out there. So you come to me and you get the information. But understand this. If a man or a woman gives up on you quickly, first thing, they're not attracted to you, okay? Don't even try. If they don't even try, that's a really rude thing. They don't even try to fix. They don't see no kind of potential. The faster someone gives up on you, the more unattractive they are for you. And that's how you knew that they were using you. So please understand. It depends on the situation, though, because if you fuck with them and they told you don't talk to any dudes, or if they told you not to talk to any women, okay, and you fuck with them, then that was on you because they told you the red flags. I tell people all the time, you will die fucking with me by crossing this red line. I usually tell them that you will die. Okay, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. I'm telling you up front. Don't do these things and you will be safe. And I keep saying it so you won't forget, okay? Because if a person told you straight up, don't cross this line or I'm going to give up on you completely. That's a sign right there that that person has confidence within themselves. It doesn't mean that they hate you. It's just that you play the game, a dangerous game of fire. I don't play those games. I remember one time, I'll tell you a story here. There was this female I was dealing with. I was fucking with her with a strap on and shit. She was juicing the fuck out of herself. You know, she really loved me and shit like that. And she thought she could start a relationship with me by taking care of me. And I said that, no, okay, I'll try it. But one day I told her, don't go red flag. Do not get a liposuction thing done. Don't do that. I'm going to help you naturally to get yourself in shape and all this other stuff. And I told her this. I said, red line. You disagree with me? Okay, you do it. We're done. Okay? My emotions going to be cut off because you took the red line. You went across the red line. At least I told her. And ever since that day, she kept calling me back. And I had to cut her. Okay? I had to cut her. Had to drop her. Okay? And then she was crying. I don't know what happened to her after that. Maybe she committed suicide. She said she loves me and yada, yada, yada. Not my fault. You don't listen, you get cut. Okay? Because there's a point where everybody has a snapping point. And so you got to respect that point. Or you get just be square. You just you ass out. You fucked up. You learn a lesson in life. And I teach a lot of people how to make sure you make some red lines. So you can understand that you're in the alpha category. So you have to have red lines. When you have red lines, okay, you got to make it clear of what's going to happen after they cross that red line. A lot of people don't have red lines. They don't even talk about their red lines because they're afraid, okay? But other than that, let's continue on what it has to say. Come on.
Is a normal part of any relationship.
Okay.
But if every little disagreement has your partner saying, I can't do this anymore, then they don't really love you.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Early on, before you have sex with people, you got to tell them everything in advance. Okay? That's not always true. So what she's saying is not always true. There are some people out there who will basically, you don't talk about your situations, and then they get in relationships, but really they didn't tell you that they were sensitive. They didn't tell you that they was overly, sensitive about certain issues. They didn't tell you about this and they didn't tell you about that. You got to know about that early on. You can't be getting in relationships without knowing who they are and without testing them. It's called testing. Testing the waters. See how far you can take it with these individuals and see how far you can push them. Then you don't do it again, because you don't get a second chance if you do it again, because some people are extremely emotional. Like me, I get extremely emotional on my logical side. So if I told you not to do this and you took an inch, I give you an inch and you took a mile, that's your loss, not mine. That's your lack of discipline. There are two types of people in the world, actually three. People who are disciplined, people who are unsure, and people who are very undisciplined. Do you understand me? All right, since we got all this out the way, let's continue on what she has to say.
Interested in talking things out, giving second chances, or trying to find a solution together.
Yeah.
Because their first instinct is always to just throw in the towel.
Well, basically, they have given up because they tried. They tried, but if they just give up on you completely, that's the person who probably never cared about you. All right? If they just completely give up on, unless you cross the red line, that person never really cared about you if they could just give up on you. And this happens a lot to men more, a whole lot more men. They'll talk to a female and the female just give up or not even call them. So a lot of guys, they call too much because they're desperate, right? And so they don't even get the attention that they need, because a lot of beta males are often rejected more than women, okay, by fact, okay? So they will easily let down their guard with a fuckboy, okay? But you can see how it works on both sides of the fence here, all right? Let's continue on here.
Which just goes to show they don't really care whether the relationship works or fails.
Okay.
Relationships don't need to be perfect to make you happy.
That's right.
But it's important that you and your partner feel the same way about one another and are both willing to do what it takes to make things work.
That's right.
Honesty, trust, respect, and most of all, genuine and heartfelt love between the two of you is mandatory in any relationship.
And understanding.
Otherwise, you're just wasting your time.
That's right.
Learning to spot the signs of fake love before it's too late can ultimately save you from a lot of heartache.
Good. So now, since you understand, I did a response video on this video. This woman is basically not saying all sides of the fence here. But to be simple about these relationship things on this internet, okay, just learn someone early on. It takes a week to understand someone. Learn their history. Learn about their pattern. Learn about their psychology. Like, I usually tell people in advance that I'm a holy man, okay? That doesn't make me delusional. I tell people I don't have any sins, okay? And that doesn't make me delusional, again, okay? And I usually tell people this is what I require, okay? And when people basically are not listening, okay, then that's on them, okay? All right? And you people have to do the same, because you have requirements. You have certain needs that you need in your life. And if it's not being met, especially if it's sexually too, you're going to have to make some sort of compromise, okay, or some sort of balance. If that compromise cannot be met, you might as well cut ties early. You do not stay in people be staying in relationships like a motherfucker just because of one little small things, simply because they don't want to be alone, okay? That's pathetic. I said, their person is not sexually satisfying you. They're not mentally satisfying you, and they're not spiritually satisfying you. What the fuck? But the whole purpose is just you being there, okay? And I teach a lot of beta males how to stop being in that box, okay? There's a lot of red pillars and MGTOWers who basically will fall, and they will falter themselves. When they say bros before hoes, I'll be like, hey, no, that's not true. That's not true at all, man. Because if you test your brother with a hoe, okay, then he's going to fail, okay, because he's a beta male. You don't do it with beta males. You never do anything with beta males, because they are going to fail by 80 to 90%. But other than that, that's all I really got to say, guys. 8 signs of fake love. Most of this video was inaccurate as hell, because she didn't really elaborate on the other side of the coin, okay? But other than that, you understand that the type of person I am, all right? Because I have lots of experience because of my past. I've talked to hundreds of women, hundreds of men, and everything in between, transvestites and homosexuals and yada, yada, yada. Okay, so other than that, you know how to hit me up on my Patreon. You know how to hit me up And you can do whatever you like. I told you most people are not going to cater to me because I'm eccentric and I do act goofy on some of my videos, and then somebody hate me. That's my whole plan, because they're idiots. Okay? But other than that, I hope you learned something in this video, and you can take it to the bank if you like, okay? 8 signs of fake love. I will basically tell you, I will make a video about the 8 signs of a person that may be having love for you and trying for you. And I'll make it later. But right now, my next video is going to be about, okay, why you should record everything. Because as I said before, if I write things down, my video sounds pretty articulate and straightforward and have a pathology to it, right? You like it? I know some people, I know some of you like it, okay? So I got the other things to talk about, but the next video will be about how to tell someone loves you. 8 signs of real love, all right? So the next video will be 8 signs of real love. Peace.